started doing some research on poultry farming and healthy food for our daughter, and we saw that this product was not on the market. Many companies offered it, but we did not have traceability, which was something we wanted to guarantee to our daughter. We wanted to know the whole origin of a product such as eggs from the beginning to consumption to give it to her in the healthiest way, because the doctors sent it to us. We did not find it in the market, so we decided to start with a small nucleus to give it to her. But we saw that people started to demand the product, that they liked it, that people told us to sell it to them, and that is how Gold Hens started. What happens is that, let's say that Maria Angel was born early, so one of the first foods that they will tell you to give her or that she should eat is eggs, right? So start giving it to her, but little by little to see how it goes. The body, many children are allergic to eggs. So it is not known if the allergy is due to what they give to the hens or why they have allergies, because it is one of the best proteins there is, that you can consume. In fact, athletes and all those people obviously consume the most eggs, 3, 4, 5 to 10 eggs in a breakfast. So you look at that and say, no, but I want the first egg that my daughter eats to be a good egg, a free egg, an egg that does not have as many chemicals as they normally have. Because many times poultry farms give them antibiotics without giving anything to the hens, but before, to prevent them from getting sick. So we started to look at what we could do. At that time we lived in Villavicencio, and there was a company that, I do not remember the name, but I think it was like a family, more or less like us. There were 2 men and a woman, and the man went every 8 days and took the eggs in his cart. And then we got it on Instagram and had a very nice label, and then we said, well, let's start to try to see what we could do. At that time it was worth about 15.500 a bucket. And I am saying about 5 years ago, and we started to consume it. To see the difference when you open it, when you do it, it is already cooked or whole as you like. Then we looked and started to give it to the girl, and we saw that there was no problem. The man went and with his cell phone he showed us that he had them free and that they were not many hens, because in fact he only went once a week. He had about 100 hens and he had them in a large area. So we started to look and he started to tell us, look, what happens is that I give them this, I do this and I do this. Well, then we started to look and investigate what was this egg issue, because it was not really for us an egg was like many people at that time. It was egg because it was the same, the shell or a white egg or brown egg, but for us it was not different. We started to investigate and to really look at, well, my husband, who is from the livestock or agricultural area, started to look, and we started to investigate what happens if I do not give concentrate but I give branch. What happens in the hen system when it does not consume the 115 or 116 grams of feed it needs, but we supplement it with other feed. So obviously, that took some time. We were talking to many people. When we arrived here in Manizales we were in talks at the University of Caldas. We also looked for the UTP. We also allied ourselves there to learn about this topic, and really yes, it has many changes, because when you do not give them the amount they need, they lower their posture a little, but you are changing egg quality for quantity. So many people say no, they are too small eggs, yes. They are too small, yes. They are too small, they are very small eggs, yes. They are not all going to be the same size, they are not all going to be super jumbo, they are not all going to be double or triple, but you are eating an egg that is much healthier, and you have the possibility of taking care of your organism from so many chemicals that sometimes the other egg can provide you with. I go into a supermarket and the first thing I do is go straight to the eggs. I will look at the other brands and see how they are positioning, how they are packing, what they are doing. but my big doubt is what they are showing the customer of that product. Because there are some that offer cage-free eggs, which is a plus because they have many large companies, pastured hens, but what really attracts me and our family, because this is a family business, which my wife, me and my 2 daughters have, what attracts me is the traceability of the product. I want to know if they are eating this way, if they are eating what the packaging shows us, and those boxes are so beautiful. In none of them we find the traceability. What we do, we have a page where the customer can enter that is on the label of our packaging and can look week by week that is consuming that bird. That finally is what will give us that kind of healthy eating and grazing and traceability that we want to offer the customer. Then it is like our differential and where we focus with the company. We visited a couple of farms in Antioquia, one in the Eastern Plains. We talked to several producers, small producers. It is very complex to do these projects on a large scale because of the area that is needed, so if you enter our nuclei, they are nuclei of 500 hens. We have a single nucleus of 500 hens, making it big is really a little bit more. We have been with the company for 4 years and every year is a learning process. Really, in the literature and in Google, in YouTube, you can't find much. You see some images, some videos, but there is not a way to follow that this is the way to produce. It is really an experience of trial, error, trial, error, trial, error. But in these 4 years we have already established a diet. We already have a way to follow. We have several crops, several that are very common in the area, that you see on the road and you find them normally. There are several crops that we have to offer. There are 8 to 10 species, but each one provides something objective for the egg and for the quality. Then we have some leguminous plants that provide a lot of protein to our egg, that is, it will make an egg of higher nutritional quality. In a couple of opportunities we have had the opportunity to make them bromatological, and it is an egg that is of different nutritional quality. Then those plants are focused on the pigment that is a plus that gives the egg a different nutritional quality. Then those plants are focused on the pigment that is a plus that gives the egg a different nutritional quality. People like it very much, to see that almost red-colored egg. Then the buttercup gives us protein and gives us pigment, the fodder peanut. So are all the species that we have planted. Besides, the local producers of the agricultural area give us bananas, guava, because they know that they are things that are lost on the farm. They are third and give it to us to give to them. But each product is specific to provide greater nutritional quality or a visual plus to our product. What I was telling you now is that, for example, I have the Sasha Inchi that is not from here in the area, and for many people this is not well known. We are looking for omega-3, 6, and 9 because when we go to the supermarkets we see that added value in some brands with eggs high in omega-6 or 9 because they are sending them and because there are people, specifically children and adults, who need it. Sasha Inchi has a high omega content and omega-9 which is not found much in other products, so we planted Sasha Inchi, for example, so that all those omega would be in much higher concentrations in our egg. Forage peanuts provide protein and pigment because it is a legume, buttercup. It provides pigment and protein. We have the Rami that was very local, and you ask our grandparents, our parents 20 or 30 years ago what the chickens fed on, and their main source was Rami. Recently a study was done at UNIZAR where it says that it is a great source of efficient microorganisms. They are found there in the Rami to make greater absorption of nutrients, so each one is focused on something. The grass helps a lot because its water content is very large and makes the size of the egg that we grow, and with the others we make size and nutritional quality, so that there are those two, because people do not want a very small egg either. Suddenly there is a lot of nutritional quality but very small. No, they want there to be size and there is nutritional quality. When you open this type of egg, it is an egg that condenses more, because it is an egg that has less water and more nutrients. When you take an egg from the valley is a hen that takes too much water. Poultry farming is positioned, 60% in the valley and the rest is in Bucaramanga, in that area, in the Santander, because they are located there because the hen consumes more water. So what they are going to put in the egg? Water. They are looking for size. We are in a totally cool area. It is a hen that consumes almost no water, and with the food we provide it will lay an egg of higher nutritional quality and has a visual plus. So when you open it, it is a different egg, it has a differential. Besides, we tell them, if you don't believe that this egg is different, open it, try it, because it tastes different due to the type of feed and handling it already has, apart from the feed that we have focused a lot on, which is the main thing in the company. We also have to talk about animal welfare. She has the decision to go out and take a sun bath, a dirt bath, if she wants to be inside the shed, her house, or to be outside under a tree doing perching, doing all her natural system. So this also means that all this is transmitted to the egg, because it will be an egg without toxins, without antibiotics, without chemicals, totally natural. The other way to check that was, as we started the company, is traceability. Look, this is our company, look what the hens consumed this week, because the customer is finally in Manizales, in Pereira, Chinchina, is in the cities, cannot come here and people cannot enter the sheds for biosecurity, cannot look at these processes. But then we take advantage of technology and social networks. Enter Gallinas Doradas on Facebook and Instagram and look what they are doing every day. When you show a customer one of these videos, they become loyal, and when they consume it, they never try another type of egg again, because it is different, it smells different, it tastes different, and it is an egg that provides a different nutritional quality to our customers. What happens is that when they talk about the term happy hens, they can refer to many things. Let's say that I simply have a yard for them, or I do not have them in a cage, I have them in a shed, so to speak. Many people believe that just because they have them in a shed they are happy, because they are not in a cage or prisoners in a cage. So it is not only that, it is not only the fact of having them in a shed, it is the fact of what you give them so that they really are hens that make a decision whether to consume a concentrate or a branch. What you give them so that they can really be hens that make a decision whether to consume a concentrate or a branch. So that is why when you get into this green business, you try, and they also lead you to think. I am reviewing terms. For example, the topic of happy hens is not often used. What happens is that sometimes people say to you, yes, they are happy hens. Well, yes, but for you think they are happy hens, because that is very complicated to measure. Yes, of course, you see that they come out and they look good. You see that they are already rolling in the dirt and they are not laughing, but you see that they are happy. In order for us to provide that happiness that is not measurable, that cannot be measured, what we do is to open the grazing areas so that they can make their own decision and have the autonomy to do what they want in their daily lives. To perch, to be under a tree, to take a dirt bath, or to stay in their little house. They are not in a 1-by-1 cage where there are 18 animals. They cannot open their wings or turn around because they do not have the space, so we measure this happiness with this. Animal welfare, and with the capacity they have to make the decision they want, to do in their daily lives what they want and how they feel better. They love the rim, everything with a very soft texture, boar, banana, pumpkin. We also give them in large quantities, we open them and put them for them to eat. But everything with that soft texture they like very much. Whenever there is an opportunity and there is time to do it, we replant those products, and we have been increasing the quantity because there are things that they like too much. It does not last them 5 minutes inside the shed when they are put directly, and when they go out to the pasture the first thing they are going to consume. There is a little bit the issue of happiness, that what she likes the most, she can choose because they have 6 to 7 products in the field and she goes and chooses what she likes best. She is not forced in a cage to consume only what she wants. There are animal welfare criteria in our case that we are a producer, that is a big criterion, and within all the management we do with all the products and the amount of green feed, which is called green business, green feed that is given or offered to our animals. Normally, industrially, they consume between 116 and 118 grams per day. We are giving them 60 or 70 grams depending on what we are going to give them in the week, depending on the nutritional quality of that forage supply. We are in the process of being certified organic, but we have to lower that grammage much more, but we are doing it in a very slow way. We are not getting overburdened, because they are processes with living beings, and it is not about money or other external issues, it is about natural feeding. So it takes 6 months to plant a tree, it takes 3 months to plant another plant, so we are doing it very slowly, but we are doing it very well. Well, when some veterinarians have visited us, they tell us that in the big sheds there are such high bacterial loads that they make almost preventive shocks, that the antibiotic is supposed to be curative. We have never had to do any shock, and we do the purges naturally with various mixtures of plants, and it is done naturally, so we do not give antibiotics. As our load and our density is so large, we have a very large area, those concentrations of bacteria are not harmful for them. So far we have not had to make any shock, and if we have to make them we also look for them in a natural way, in garlic, in lemon, that are natural antibiotics. With that we would make some shock. When some of them are sick we separate them alone, we give them lemon and garlic mixed with crushed garlic to overcome that, but we do not have to make those shocks to all the animals as in the big productions. One of the main suggestions that we give, and the training, so to speak, is very important, that everyone who is going to consume the product goes and looks at the social networks. It is very important because when you cannot come directly to be an overseer, but in many cases many of the points, say in many of the companies consume or sell the product, come and do the overseer part, then they come. They see that what we are selling them and what we are telling them is really true, so that helps us to be overseers, and they go and transmit it directly to the client, and the client, through social networks, goes and verifies that we are doing what we are doing, and we are showing it to them either through a video, an image, a story, and that helps us to be much more reliable.
Ayuda a que sea mucho más confiable.
The important thing was not to create a company that would be the company that produces eggs, no, it was to create a company that would have a visual differential, because everything enters through the eyes, so as we cannot change the egg on the outside because the shell will be almost similar to the others. So we said, how are we going to differentiate ourselves in the market? How am I going to go to a market and say, this egg is organic? How am I going to be recognized? We started to look at How we could do it right here on the sidewalk, because the idea was to do it here and that the people who would help us and collaborate with us were from here. Then we started to find out what packaging we could do that was different, that was not the traditional account. Around here they work a lot with the banana plant, and there is a man who told us, a councilman here in Chinchina, who told us, I know a lady who makes some divine guasca packaging. We said, well, we do not lose anything, we go and talk to her. Her name is Dona Alba. We told her, why don't you give us a sample of the packaging? That lady is better said, she is very strong, she looks after her husband who is sick, for her son, and she is a lady who does not have the resources and who does not have everything that many people have and that she lacks. But she does have something very special, and that is that she doesn't care if you need 100 or 200, she does it for you. She is a person that if you need it, I go to bed late, I do it, I get someone to help me. So she is one of those people that you see and you say that she is really the one that accompanies me and the one that has been with me since we started. She made 3 samples for us and we said, Alba, which one do you like the most, or which one is the easiest for you? So that it is not so complex, so at that moment that is the tray we have. Dona Alba is the one who has always made it for us since we started. It is a bucket that catches everyone's attention because it is a 100% manual bucket. She does everything by hand. She makes a braid to tie it because the idea was not to have the bucket there, it had to be tied. She had to hold something because how are you going to be with it like that? So she is the one who makes the packaging and makes the braid to be able to tie it. What she really does is, we bring her the normal buckets, the normal bucket, the cardboard bucket. She shapes it with the banana peel. Then she cuts it and she says that there are special parts, that is, not all the banana plant is good for you. I don't really understand much about it, but I know that she takes the special parts, she organizes it, washes it, cleans it, does the disinfection process and everything. And then she starts to glue it with a paste that she makes, she starts to shape it with the other bucket and this guasca, and she lines the bottom part so that it is like that. If it were soft, husk and glue it on the bottom. I have been thinking and believing that every company, no matter how small it may be, must have a social factor. I believe that more than growing, which is the ideal because we love this business, it would positively affect other families. So giving nuclei to families in the village, teaching them to produce, and we buy the eggs, do the marketing, which is finally one of the most complex things, but we already know how to do it. I believe that with 5,000 hens we would be very well off.